On the bottom of the unit there is a tripod mount, so you could use it with a stand or pretty much any tripod. Here's the look of it on the stand, and you can just hit this power button to power it up, and then it just comes to life. There's a little joystick on the end, so you can kind of manually set where you want it to go. But if you're just holding it, you can just sort of move it around and get it in the right position. There's a little wheel on the side here, and then that can either adjust the focus, but by default it's the zoom. So zoom's probably what I would use most of the time, but if you want to switch, you can just, there's a little button on the side that you can change how that works. And again, you're going to be needing to use the app if you want to like control focus and some of these other features. But if you don't want to use the app, it's still pretty feature rich, even if you just use, like, say, the default camera app. So there's a little action button on the bottom, and that will either start or stop recording, or if you have it in picture mode, it will just take a shot. And this will work in the regular camera app as well. It's just kind of like the sort of the default Bluetooth functionality. And then this mode here, it switches between sort of the different types of gimbal operations, and you can kind of see on the screen here, it highlights which mode you're currently in. So it actually has lots of different modes, which is nice because some of them only have a couple. So just to go through them really quickly, this is like the L mode, so it doesn't matter how I rotate it, it will always try to keep the screen sort of fixed. And then this is PF mode, which is sort of similar. It'll keep most of the dimensions fixed except for going left and right, but it will still try to keep the camera level. So if I rotate it like this or like this, it'll kind of go left and right with the screen, but it won't rotate the camera. And then this is F mode, kind of the same thing, but now I can rotate the camera sort of up and down. So it just adds one more dimension to it. And lastly, this is the POV mode, so point of view. So it will let you rotate pretty much on every axis, but it'll kind of do it gently, and I think you can adjust exactly how quickly it moves within the settings. And you can quickly switch between like portrait and landscape mode just by clicking this button. You can go into sport mode by just holding down sort of the trigger button on the outside. That's just kind of a brief overview. There's tons of functionality, and the app itself, it has special things in there for like, following subjects, for doing panoramics, and all sorts of different types of shots. So that would be like kind of a review in itself, but it's very feature rich. But the one thing I didn't like about it is if I'm like filming a video, there's no way to pause it. Like sometimes I don't want to have to do a lot of editing and stitch a lot of segments together. The only way to pause it is to actually hit the pause in the camera app itself and then to replay it. But that's not perfect because you end up sort of shaking the camera a little bit when you're doing it. I would just wish there was like a shortcut down here that would enable me to do that. But other than that, I think it's a really like impressive unit. There's so many different features in it, so it's kind of a hard thing to review. But another nice thing again is it folds like fairly compact. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention on this particular unit, it has a telescoping pole in there. It only adds about like 6 inches, so it's not very long. It's not like your typical selfie stick, which could be like 2 or 3 feet, but it does give you a little bit of extra length. So if you want to do like really low angle or shots like that for dramatic effect, it will help you out so you don't have to lean quite as much. And it doesn't lock into place or anything. You can it's just fairly stiff, so you can pull it out to the length that you want it.
for the X8. The X2. Let's compare tracking speed.
All right, we are recording. As you can see, I didn't push a button. It has gesture controls. Hand controls are really good. Zoom, let's see, focus. Oop. Which I'm using the front camera, which is the lower resolution camera. Oh, push this button. Yeah, it's not going to do so much the focus. I'd have to put it on the rear cameras. But this thing has pleasantly surprised me. Let's go ahead and reset this. Bam. It's got a trigger. You just press it twice. It resets to original position. There's a joystick. You can operate it that way. Or you can do this hand signal. And locks onto your face. Now granted, I do wish, I'll have to look in this, if there's no way to adjust the settings to make less blank space here, make it, when it's tracking face, bring it down some, but it works. It works really well too. It does take a little bit of figuring out, but thankfully it's made easy by, once you download the app that comes with it, they're in tutorial videos that take you through every step of everything, and that just makes it super simple. But yeah, I am highly impressed with this thing. It is quite nice. Very comes with the tripod. Your instruction manuals. Of course, it's USB-C charging. There, put it into that, and then you do this.